Hello there, my name is Yusmas and welcome to another exciting Blender tutorial. And so I'm working on this sci-fi laboratory, and you can watch the entire process from start to finish on my second channel, Blender Money. The video is there. I'm uploading a few more there, but I'll be explaining how I made some of the more complicated models in this scene in a step-by-step videos like this. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at how I made this polythene bag. I don't know how we call it, but yeah, this thing here using the cloth simulator. So let's get in and get started with it. So I'll open up a new blend file, and I will move this cube aside, and then let's add a circle because we're going to be creating this here. I'll rotate it 90 degrees, yeah, so that it faces that way, and then go to edit mode, extrude this in the Y direction. If you notice any changes in the interface, if the interface looks different from yours, it's because I'm using Blender 2.81, which is a newer version of Blender. I'm not using Blender 2.8, I'm using 2.81, which is, I think, is in alpha version. Yes, so if you notice any changes, it's because of that. You can see, I think they moved this up from here. They made a few changes, which I think are very great changes. But let's continue with the tutorial. So I'll give this a shade smooth to make it look a bit smoother, and then we're going to need a few more resolution for this. So I'll add a few loops here, and the way I did that, I used the shortcut Ctrl R to add in extra loops like that. And then we can go to the physics tab and add a cloth modifier. Then if we play back, you can see this just falls down, which is not what we want. So to make it hang in air, we can go under the mesh data or object data properties, and then select these outer rings. Give them a new vertex group, so just go under the vertex group settings or panel, click plus, and then assign. This should assign these to that vertex group, but right now it doesn't do anything because we haven't set it up as the pinning group in the cloth settings. So let's go back to the physics tab, under cloth, under the shape settings, under cloth. We can select a pinning group that will pin those vertices in the air. So if we play back now, you can see the cloth simulates, and you can see a few folds. You can see some folds in here. Let me just can see that, but because this is pinned on both sides, there is no leeway to kind of have these collapse or make more larger folds. I also think if you change under the physics properties, you can change the bending model from angular to linear. My understanding is that before 2.8 there was only linear, there wasn't angular. They just made a change, added this as a new way to simulate cloth, and I think it creates more realistic wrinkles than linear. But in my experience, linear tends to give larger and better folds. Maybe not as realistic, but you can see the difference here. So this is linear. You can see how deep this goes, and this is angular. That's what we are getting. So you can play around with those settings and see what gives you better settings. You can also, under the cloth modifier, you can select a preset here. You can see we have cotton, denim, leather, silk, rubber, and silk. So you can select any of these. I think I'll just select silk. Let's play here. Okay, you can see this is really not very stable. Let's try linear. See, more stable. Yeah, so, but you see, even with linear, we're not getting as good folds as we are getting here. So the way I found this to work better, to get the best way to get folds in this instance is to animate the cloth, the scale of the cloth. So since our pivot point is set at this point, if we scale this on the y-axis like this, that should create a lot of wrinkles and a lot of folds around this cloth. So let's add a keyframe here, and then a keyframe at around 50, and scale this in. You will notice that if you try scaling in scaling this while you have the cloth modifier, you won't be able to preview what you're scaling. So you can switch off the cloth modifier for a second, like that, and then scale this in to something like that. I'm not sure if this option is there in 2.8, but if it's not there, you can also just turn off the cloth for a second and then do whatever you want and then add it back. That will also retain all the settings you have changed. So say if I change this to linear, maybe give this 120 kilo, okay, the maximum is 10. So if I give this 10 kilograms, and you can see I've changed a few settings here, but if I remove the cloth settings, those settings will be maintained. Have they been maintained? They are reset, but in Blender 2.8 they were not being reset. I think they have made a change where it resets the changes. But since we have this option here, you can always just switch it off for a second, make any changes, keyframe animations you want, and then add it back. Now if you play back, make sure that you give the shape a pinning group set to the pinning group we created here earlier, so these rings here. So let's go back to the cloth physics tab and then select the pin group and see how that is folding. But we don't have enough resolution here, and also if you look closely, the cloth is intersecting with itself, so it's not colliding with itself. So we can go under the cloth settings, the collision settings, and turn on self collision to eliminate some of those issues. I'm not sure why it's taking a while before it starts making folds, but that's okay. Let me try changing this to linear and see. So you can see the folds we're getting with linear. Let me increase the resolution here. I'll just subdivide these a few times. So this is with linear. You know what, maybe let me undo this just so this speeds up a bit. So this is what we get. Let's try angular. This might be better actually. So depending on your subdivision, your subdivisions, you might get a better cloth. The more subdivisions you have, the better the cloth will look. But because this is just a test tutorial and I didn't want to have a lot of polygons in my scene, I chose to go with less subdivisions, as you can see, so that I don't run into so that I don't have a lot of polygons in my scene, which will kind of slow down my PC. Another thing you can add after you apply the cloth simulator and you're satisfied with the wrinkles, but you still have these facets, and so you can just apply a subdivision modifier, and you can see you will even have far better looking cloth like that. See, and since we have applied the simulation, you can see you just need to delete the keyframes, and this is what we have. Then what I did is just duplicated these a few times using the array modifier and added a transparent material. And the transparent material, just give this an alpha value like that, and under blending modes, under the settings, change the blending mode to blend. And if you're seeing these, okay, they have gone, but if you're still seeing those boxes, just turn off show back facing. I don't know if it makes the cloth look better or worse. I'm not sure. You can see. Let's reduce the roughness so that we have some reflections. But it's too transparent, so we can also increase the transmission. Let's see. Maybe give this some roughness. Increase the alpha a bit, and you have that. Thank you for watching. See you in the next tutorial.